I got things going on in Colombia, and I got to also go to Thailand for a little bit. So when I said Thailand, she said, ew, one of those passport bros trips. Ew. The issue with Thailand, because I just think it's ridiculous how you're taking men from the United States.
Black women have in the States about the attitude and the BS.
Those women overseas, you do not approach them or you don't deal with them in the same manner that you deal with black women.
Passports to travel to other countries and find women less argumentative, more obedient, and more feminine.
Look at that.
For a long time, I went to another country and got you. And my mistake was bringing you here. So I went to school to the award ceremony. And of course, her mom, my ex-wife, was there as well. And while we were waiting for them to set up everything for the ceremony, we decided to deal with a little co-parenting business. So I told her mom that, hey, I'm going to need to hire a PA, a personal assistant out here, because I'm going to be out of the country every single month for the rest of the year. I got things going on in Colombia, and I got to also go to Thailand for a little bit. So when I said Thailand, she said, ew. I was like, ew. She was like, so you're going over to Thailand for one of those passport bros trips? Ew. And I said, have you ever been to Thailand? And she got quiet. I was like, well, I've been to Thailand. And I'm actually not going that time for a passport bros trip. I'm actually going for a conference, which I'm getting paid to speak at. And so she gave me a half-hearted apology. And I said, wait a minute. You said that you don't follow me. You don't pay attention to anything that I do. How do you even know about my passport bros trips?
Jealous.
And she said, well, it is on a public platform. I said, yes, a public platform that you just told me weeks ago that you did not have. So you have that public platform now? No, I'm not on TikTok. I was like, okay, cool. So why the issue with Thailand? Because I just think it's ridiculous how you're taking men from the United States to other countries to find wives or find women. And I sat back and I just let it all sink in and marinate in. You know why I did that? I got her from another country. So then when I made her aware that, wait a minute, you do know I've been a passport bro for a long time. I went to another country and got you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And my mistake was bringing you here. If I had left you where you were in another country, you would have kept those same.
Yes, he said it. My man admits it, and I commend you, brother, for that. He admits, Mr. Don P admits he made a mistake. That's one thing I tell the guys all the time. Do not bring them back so they can keep those values. But sorry, brother, let me continue.
Same values, those same thought patterns, and that same process. But I brought you here, helped you to earn millions of dollars, gave you a career, saw you have success, and gave you my seed to create one of the most beautiful children in the world. That was my mistake. That was my problem, bringing you here. It just goes to show you how so many women are, I got mine, you need to get yours. And it's okay for them, but it's a problem when someone else is reaping the benefits and the rewards that they were once reaping. That's just something about the American mindset of women. Do not bring women here to America. Do not date the women in America that have that mindset, because that mindset destroys families and it destroys men. So just a fun little story. She had forgotten that I actually went to a lesser country, plucked her out of that country, and was able to bring her here and make her highly successful. Never forget where you come from.
Real talk.
He made her life. Just because he's helping men do the same thing he did, what's wrong with that? Yes, he may go to Thailand and get another woman. He's definitely going to find a better woman than her. And why is she going to be better? He probably already had. He can't tell her that, though, because he's going to keep her there. He's going to keep her where she's from, maybe come back and forth, see his children, and see her part-time, and it'll be better that way. And he's telling other men to do that because he's aware now. Good job, brother.
Africa is a different energy, especially like Kenya, because like in Kenya, it feels like they're more trying to game you, like to you. Like it chicks be like hawking you, they be looking at.
You heard what the brother said? In Kenya, they're trying to game you. What does that mean? That means there's no more getting rejected. She want me to become a passport bros? He doesn't have to have crazy game. He goes out there and they give him energy. Let him continue.
At you, and their energy is like affection. I had some of the best times hanging around like African women in general, because it just seems like it's like they have all the good things of black women have in the States about the attitude and the BS nonsense. They just accept you for who you are.
They just accept you for who you are. And that's what men need in this day and age. This is why men are becoming passport bros. They're leaving for women who accept them for who they are. Well said.
For dating outside my race. But I was dating outside of my race because they was doing things better than my race. I'm
Like,
keeping
well, define better.
My
Define
Spanish,
better.
well, not better, because I know when she getting ready to go. Not better.
I know, you said they were doing things better. I want to know what better.
No, brother. No, brother. No, 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 no. What she did right there, that's exactly what they were doing better. They weren't challenging him. I mean, this is an interview, but still, the man is pouring his heart out. They wonder why things are the way they are nowadays. He's pouring his heart out, saying why he made the decisions he made. And you're arguing with him? Look at it. Old school, too. Why better? Why better? Why better? Shunning him, why better?
Not better. I'm going to change that.
I'm trying to save you for the,
I know you is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not better.
Yeah.
Right, not better. I was dating Puerto Rican. I was dating Dominican. I was dating African. I was dating all type of other races.
Yeah.
American,
Yeah.
black. Right? They were doing way more of what we expect we want our woman to do
Yes.
more than our American. Our American got real comfortable
Give me
with.
some examples.
Oh man,
Tell 'em.
their mannerisms are different. Like even my Indian.
Anyway, that's enough of that. So he goes on to talk about how Black American women only want, like, they expect to be taken to like Roof Chris and blah blah.
That's about right. That's about right. Yeah.
And then women from other countries, they're okay with anything.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
why. First of all, you are a famous actor. So the type of women you are dating, you're not running around looking for regular women. You're looking for women that already have a certain type of taste. So he wants, let me backtrack. First, most of you already know I'm Jamaican. And this type of idea always pisses me off so bad. In me particular, I don't really date a lot of Jamaican men. My ex-husband was not from the islands. So the thing is with a lot of these men, these American men, and when they say they want women from a different culture or whatever, if I were to date a Jamaican man and I was to tell that Jamaican man I don't want to pay no bills, he's not going to look at me as a gold digger.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
He's going to take care of it. We're not going to get into an argument. It's not going to be a problem. A lot of these American men, they want the traditional things that these other cultures have kind of like ingrained into women. And that's not to say American women don't have it, because I've encountered a lot of American women, especially a lot of women, I want to say from the South, are raised in those like traditional ways. But a lot of these men, they want traditional, but they also want modern, because they want you to still cook, clean, and do all these things while you're working and paying half the bills. And it's so frustrating because, you know, I had this conversation with a male friend of mine, and he's from he's not from the islands. His parents are from the islands, so he's kind of raised in like a Caribbean type household or whatever. And he was basically saying the same thing. He was saying that, like, you know, Black American women, like, he's had better experiences when he went overseas. And I said to him, did you ever think, like, when you approach those women overseas, you do not approach them, or you don't deal with them in the same manner that you deal with Black women? So could that be the difference? Have you ever thought that, hey, maybe if I approach Black women with the same care, with the same caution, with the same affection, and because you're not dating these women outside of your race, and you're not expecting them to foot the bill in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but then you come to Black women and then you expect Black women to go 50-50 with you, and then cater to you as if you are footing the bill by yourself. That does not make sense. How are you comparing these women when you're treating them completely different?
You've never traveled.
You're treating the women completely different, but you're expecting a certain type of outcome.
That's because they're treating him different. If there's a heated discussion, they're not doing this and yelling like you are. You can't tell, but there's not one gentle tone in your voice. You're naturally masculine, and you don't even see it.
Couldn't agree more.
And what are you going to say? Oh, I had to be that way to protect myself from guys like you. Man.
You're expecting the same outcome from two different experiences. That does not make sense. You're going into thinking like, oh, well, black women don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do this, they don't do that. And then you go to these women and then you treat them with so much care, so much affection. Y'all want to provide for them. Y'all want to give them everything they desire. And then be like, well, they treat me better. You're treating them better. You're treating them better. Did it ever click to y'all that those women treat y'all better because y'all treat them better?
I want something feminine and delicate.
Talking about, oh, well, they don't expect Ruth Chris. If you go to their country and there's no Ruth Chris, why would she expect Ruth Chris?
Now look at this.
That is your receipt.
There is actually. No, you're wrong. I got to stop it right there. In a lot of these countries, they have Ruth Chris. Let me see. Let me check something. I want to share something with you guys. Check this out, guys. Look at this. I'm going to share the screen. I want you guys to see this. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Wait a minute, because they think, see, you're gonna learn. See, now today, you gonna learn today. You gonna learn. That's what you gonna do. Learn. Ruth Chris Steak House Manila. Gotcha. I can go there. I may take my wife there. This out. That's my wife though. You don't want to take you out of Ruth Chris because that's all y'all want. Now look at this. Ruth Chris Steakhouse, PH. Now check Thailand, probably there too. You check other countries. These places are not hole in the walls like you think. Where it's at, BGC. It looks better than being in New York. It looks better than traveling in LA. You got to see it. I think I have some footage of it. You guys got to see it. I need to start doing videos, going around the mall and certain places and putting them. I'm going to place them on More to Life to show. Because you ladies are in the box. I give love to some of you, though. Some of you ladies understand what's happening and you're getting with the program. You're actually moving to Thailand. And some of you are moving to the Philippines because you may watch a video and go, I think I need to go there. Like my ex actually has watched my vlogs and she said, and also you see other vlogs, she's been doing some research and she looked and said, I think I'm going to go over here. And why is that? Because they have it. You need to come over here and take a vacation. You go, wow, these guys, I see why they're here. Let me let her talk though.
Herself to Ruth Chris. Why would she now say, let's go to Chili's? She probably does go to Chili's as well, but if she is already living a certain lifestyle and you go to a woman that's living a certain lifestyle and now you're trying to downgrade her to prove a point like, oh, other women in other parts of the world, they're not expecting that. Well, ain't no Ruth Chris over there, so what is you talking about? What are you talking about?
I wonder why they left.
These... You know, I know that I wasn't born in America, but I grew up in America. I do have a lot of ways about me that are raised in a traditional Jamaican fashion.
No, you don't.
And
Stop the cap.
I've seen men try to weaponize that. And believe you me, these men take advantage of it because I have the worst of it where I am super domesticated, but highly independent. And then you run into men who are users and they are going to burn your ass out because you're raised to nurture, you're raised to take care of, but at the same time, you are not dependent on anyone. So believe you me when I say that these men are looking for women that they can take advantage of. However, I'm nicer than a lot of these women. And let me tell you, these women are going to run them ragged.
Very manly.
Okay? Not me no more. Not me no more. But when I was younger, yeah, you can pull the wool over my eye a little bit. You can pull the wool over my eye a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta say this. I have to say this and I have to show this because You're talking like, let me let you understand something. These ladies know, like, say a man, no man, I gotta say it like this, and I like to use his name a lot because he's a perfect example. And you guys know what I'm about to say. Chad Ocho Cinco. He's not taking you to Ruth Chris. Multi-millionaire. Why is he not doing that? Because if you want to keep your money, you can't blow it all on nonsense. Like Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Because you want your money to last. When I say to my wife, like one time I took my wife to a restaurant that was like $100 a plate, right? She didn't like it there. Why didn't she like it? I could have done so much more with that money. She said it to me. See? It isn't all the bad. It's just stupid.
Joking.
But yeah, my wife looked at me like I was crazy. Like, what are you doing? Why do we need to eat this for? I was just trying to show a little bit of the high life. She didn't want it. That's what men are looking for. And you are talking like you can compete with women. I have to say, I gotta show it again. Look at this. In case there's a lady watching and didn't see how these women look. Take a look. Look at that. That's not a BBL right there. Look at that. Look at this. This is why men are getting the passports.
What's the most challenging thing about dating at 29 in Miami?
When you have nothing to offer,
You or the man?
a man.
Okay.
I feel like men these days, like you have to like pretty much ask them what's their favorite lip gloss because they just want princess treatment.
Wonder you stayed single.
What gives you that idea?
It's okay.
They just want you to like chase after them. They want you to like be the one to initiate conversations. There's like no like real men anymore.
Should a man not be chased and admired?
No, they should be chasing.
Okay. What gave you that mentality?
I think maybe my upbringing.
What about it though?
A man should be a man. I don't know. Yeah.
Is there a difference between pursuing and chasing though?
It's like the same thing. Yeah, they're like the same thing.
So how do you show a man that you value him if he's always chasing you?
If I actually want him, then I will make the time for him and give him attention. But if he's not giving me that initial attention, then I'm good.
And if he's a loser, if I feel he's a loser, don't even talk to me. Get out of my face, peon. And I wonder why guys, man.
If passport bros realise that the women that they go after in Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, Latin America, parts of Africa are not as stupid as they think. There's been an absolute uptick of young men who are coming online and encouraging other men with respectable passports to travel to other countries and find women who are perceived as less masculine, less argumentative, more obedient and more feminine. However, to a normal person, what this translates to is I'm using my passport to exert financial and socio-economic control over more vulnerable populations of women. They are easiest to control, so therefore it is easier for me to get a girlfriend who does everything I want in these countries. What these passport bros don't realise is that they're setting themselves up for pure failure whilst trying to finesse a group of women that they originally perceived as less intelligent, less clued on and less progressive.
And women like you is the reason why they're getting it. Because y'all do sign language. Shaming, insulting, guilt, and need to be right.
Whilst dragging a lot of other men along with them in their endeavours to encourage this new trend.
No. Look how you're talking right now. Men are saying you want to avoid her. That's all I have to say. Show you in a video and say you want to avoid her. Get your passport. It's that simple. You want to avoid. And what is she using? Shaming tactics. Passport bros felt it the most. The shaming you women do against us. Woo! But I thought that was going to happen though. Why? Because you can't compete and you can't stop it. So you try to make the guy feel embarrassed. But why would a guy feel embarrassed when his options open up when he leaves? He's going to go explore those options.
Now, I'm not saying that love beyond borders doesn't exist. Go wherever you want, travel, Live your best life, meet whoever you want to meet, and love whoever you want to love, regardless of what country they're in. But make sure you're doing it for the right intentions. What I found is that men who normally go across the borders to meet women for the wrong intentions are the ones that wind themselves up in a lot of trouble. Which is why I have no sympathy at all for content creators like this.
I'm 36 years old and the girl in this video is 19, and the reason why I like younger women is because they're a lot more impressionable and malleable than older women. For example, you can see this girl has a nose ring. Well, she had a nose ring. That's right. By the third date, I was already able to convince her that piercings are dumb and she got rid of it. She also had some tattoos on her lower back, which are scheduled for removal as well.
At this point, this man is not looking for love. He's looking for someone to control, and he's doing this for the wrong reasons. He's doing all this whilst deluding himself into believing that this beautiful 19-year-old Brazilian girl actually loves him for who he is and not for what he has.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
You know what that man showed? He showed why you should become a sport pro. And all she did was just promote him. Like, men don't look at that and say, oh, they're not thinking how you think. They're going, wait a minute. He just told her to remove it, and she did. Now, could you imagine if you see him now and he's with her and they're happy together? But if a woman is willing to do that, even just to be with me and have me in her presence, that's something. Yes, men are not dumb. Men know our dollar's more over there. And that's why they're coming for us. But you see what I just said? Our dollar's more, and that's why they're coming for us. And it's better for us. Because over here, Ruth Chris Steakhouse, my wife didn't want it.
A lot of these passport bros spout the rhetoric that Western women are too demanding, they're too financially driven, they're difficult to please, they're gold diggers.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But in this case, what are you doing here? You're literally leading with your passport and your socioeconomic status. Basically leading with your money. And nobody, regardless of what country, ethnic origin or upbringing they're from, wants to feel like they're being bought. So a lot of these women are actually turning their game head on and finessing these men. A few years ago, a number of American passport bros were actually going missing in Colombia because rings of gangs were using women to lure these passport bros in through dating websites. They would drug these men and steal from them. And a lot of these men died in the drugging process. And that is literally the worst case scenario. Best case scenario is you marry her, you take her back to the US or UK or wherever you're from, and she divorces you within a set amount of time, gets her passport and leaves for someone who's in her age range, someone that she's really attracted to. And just to be 100% clear, I do not have a problem with men, women, whoever, dating or marrying outside their borders. That is not a problem. But I have a problem with people who do it for the wrong reasons, to exploit vulnerable groups of people. And then have the audacity to encourage others to do the same.
Look, you can't talk on anything guys are doing. Seriously, because you're not the boss of anyone. Like, why are you talking like that? Doesn't matter. And that's why I said it before in the other video. It doesn't matter if a guy's leaving to get some. He's a sex tourist. He's not a passport bro. So you happy? They're not passport bros. They're sex tourists. But am I going to shame them? No. Go have fun. It's your money. You're paying it. Go enjoy yourself. Nobody can stop anybody from doing what they want to do. That's what you ladies have to learn. Act like you control men.
Guys' trip to Colombia. So they rented a Airbnb type situation, and they had to have a guard who worked security. So the whole time that they're staying in this place, they had a security guard. And why did this come into importance? Was first night when the guys he was with brought back prostitutes from the club they had gone to. The next morning, the guard's like, that girl you brought last night, she's really dangerous. She hangs out with XYZ people. You not bring her back here. It was basically like an ultimatum, like, do not bring back her. And honestly, you should be checking with me before you bring anyone in the house, kind of thing. And they're like, oh, okay. So that shows you that there are girls who have a side hustle where maybe they're working as a prostitute, but then they're also coming into your rental and they're going to rob you. Or they're going to then tell their connections to rob you.
Guys,
So, the first night, so then he's like, again, I'm getting so many juicy details. Like, oh, the girls who came the first night, they're dangerous, but they were really fun in bed, okay? It's like, okay, so the second night they bring home like classier girls who are approved by the security guard, but they're apparently boring, okay? They wouldn't do that much. It's like, okay. So again, I'm getting like details, which is just make me feel better that he's being so open. I'm just kind of being like, this is really messed up from my perspective. Because I'm thinking like, these women are kind of exploited in the sense that they don't come from money, they have no money, they're in this profession because that's all they can do to make money, or it's the easiest way for them to make money in their country, because there's not that many economic opportunities. So the day of the boat comes. Now, background on the boat. They had someone, whoever was arranging the trip, prearrange this. Now, how much do you think it should cost to have a boat chartered for the day that comes with the captain and maybe another crewmate, right? How much should that cost to have a boat take you out for, let's say, 6 hours? You know, get on the boat, take you to a lunch somewhere, and then take you back. How much should that cost? And yeah, maybe it's a bigger boat because there's like 10 guys plus the girls they hired, right? How much should that cost? So in my mind, and remember, this is Colombia. The American dollar goes very far, so it shouldn't be American prices. But I'll tell you, I once went to Italy in Capri, which is like a very expensive part of Italy, and we had a small boat chartered with one captain, and that for the whole day was like $1,000. Okay? Okay, and that's Italy, it's expensive. This boat, for the day, was $10,000. That just seems like a lot of money for a country like Colombia. So already going into it, the people who are negotiating these prices with them are basically pulling a fast one on these like gringo American guys, okay? It's like, oh, how much is a boat for the day for the day? It's like, oh, $10,000. And they're just like, okay, because we're splitting it between like 12 guys, so it won't be that much for the day. So then, how do you think they got the girls who came on the boat? Well, when you're booking the boat, you're like, so do you know any like girls we could get to like come on the boat? And then the guys are like, oh yeah, here's the number. You send her a WhatsApp and you can like, you know, she'll arrange the girls for you. So that's how they get in touch with the madam, who then is sending them the catalog of girls that are pre-arranged for the boat. Again, inside job is my point. So they have the inside job, the girls being pre-arranged, pre-chosen. Okay. So they get on the boat, and remember, I'm not looped into this story until everything goes wrong. So I'm like, okay, minding my own business, trying to just like...
I'm listening to you explain this, and I can tell as he was telling you, you were crying your eyes out. I gotta say this, I feel bad for him doing that to you. You know, you're trying to make Passport Bros look bad, but it's not, because your man wasn't a passport bro. He was a sex tourist. And find another man. I don't know how you are. You may be a good girl. I didn't hear anything negative from you. You're just talking about a vacation and your man breaking your heart. Go find another man that'll treat you right. Because, yeah, he did you wrong. But with that being said, thank y'all for watching. Peace out. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next video.
This is the way.
Passport bros. Passport. No.
So he's coming.